Hey everyone, today's episode of In the Know with RV Pro is sponsored by Blue Ox Towing Products, and we are excited to be kicking off our second season with our guest today. On this show, we interview the top leaders of the RV industry, and our guest is Dustin John, CEO of Lite. The manufacturer for the past 2 decades has been making some major strides and just recently moved into a new state-of-the-art facility. So, without further delay, Dustin, thank you so much for being on In the Know. How's the new year treating you?
Fantastic. Actually, where I'm at now is it's our first full week for my corporate team here at the corporate headquarters in Syracuse. It's a long time coming. We started this project in March of 2017, and cool. It's been a lot of work, but it's paid off. It's a fantastic place and a wonderful place to work.
I think so. I mean, I'm looking at the backdrop there. It's sleek as possible. I mean, when I think of the RV industry, I think this is like a completely new direction. It looks great.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first buildings I was able to put my hands on and lay out and design, and with some help with some others, but it's just a very open concept. I believe the roof at the front part's around 36 foot tall of open air inside. When you walk in, there's tons of windows, so a lot of natural light, and yeah, it's a very energetic place. Fits our bill. You know, we are looking into the future and the kind of brand that we are and what we want to be, and you know, we've been working hard at growing slowly but surely, and I couldn't be any more excited.
Well, absolutely. And you know what, you talk about growing, and this is a big thing. Like we talked a little bit about this beforehand, but it's an interesting thing what's going on in the industry right now. You know, shipments kind of slowed down in 2018. And RVIA is now predicting a lower number of shipments than expected originally, for 2019. I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
I think that obviously 2018 was running really solid in the first half.
Right.
The weather wasn't very cooperative. It was very cold in the northern sector for a very long time. And so the spring market was really soft. And then the inventories were continuing to rise. And then you had the election season around August and September, and that's a notorious thing that will cause a slowdown in customer sentiment and so on. But all the economic indicators that I'm looking at and pay attention to, such as unemployment, customer confidence sentiment, and projections for unemployment, are all amazing right now. Records, actually. So when people are in jobs and working, generally they're spending their money. So now that the elections are over, and the weather's been fantastic so far this winter, this is one of the first snows that we've had, and as long as it's a mild spring and we have a warm spring, I think it's going to be amazing, because the dealers who are over inventoried have been selling down that inventory, not taking as many shipments, but dwindling down that inventory so they can fill it up with next year's models and the new things that are coming out. And Lite's in a very unique situation in that regard. A lot of people in different brands are building to order what they can, and then they'll build some open inventory to fill the lineup a little bit. And at some point, you just can't do that anymore. So they've been lowering down in days, consolidating plants. Us, on the other hand, have launched the Evoke product and the Evoke RX product. And we launched that in September, and we were not building any. We didn't have the plant done. We were taking orders for 2020 model year. And so basically, we've been building a backlog for the past several months, which has become substantial, and we're super excited about it. And now we are just start pushing them out to the January shows. So the dealers are just crying for them and ready for them. And, it's amazing, because we're actually on the incline and we can't produce enough. So it's a matter of, timing with the vendors and getting the parts in place and all that stuff. But, we're kind of on the opposite trajectory, because we were not building during the slow season. We were back down, and we were building up the Evoke plant. And so we're actually ready to ramp up. Now for 2019, I think that once we're in the March, April range for pretty much the overall industry, I think it'll go back to a lot similar to it used to be, but the dealers will be a little bit more cautious in taking those big projection orders. So it's going to be more of a prove it to me before I buy more scenario. But I think that's okay. A lot of times when we talk to dealers that are initially coming on board, we don't push for big orders up front, because I just tell them, hey, the product's going to sell. If it sells, you'll want more. So there's no reason to make you commit to 100 or anything crazy like that. Just buy what you're comfortable with, let the product move, we'll replace it with some new inventory. So
yeah, let it speak, for itself. And on that note, I mean, I think we had a chance to talk when we were at the RVDA Expo in was it November?
Yeah, out in Vegas.
Yeah, out in Vegas, and when I walked into the Evoke, I felt like I stepped into a bachelor's pad in some metropolis. um, from the lighting to the beveled cabinets, it carried an overall feeling of cool. So tell me, I mean, we talk about the product speaking for itself. What kind of story did you want to tell with the Evoke?
The Evoke, crazily enough, was pretty much designed in January of last year.
Wow.
Definitely on the exterior. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And really grateful for the vendors that have helped us out with that product. It's super unique, and they've came through in a big way, importing new product, customizing, different things from the cabinetry to the flooring, to the lighting. I mean, we're using materials in there that have literally never been used. And so it took a while, but I'm insanely impressed with how it came out and the dealer response, because it definitely is not a safe play, but I think it was, like I've said before, an educated safe play, or an educated, decision. And, when you're a smaller OEM, you're not in a position to just try to fight over price. So, and I've never been one to try to do that. I'd rather create a product that has its own standout appeal to a certain demographic. And if so, they'll fall in love with that, and it'll be really hard for someone that walks into an Evoke, for example, and really, enjoys what we put together for them. Not only just on the looks, but also the quality of materials. I mean, we're using the highest end appliances. We're using the best type of flooring that I've seen in the industry, and all these in a travel trailer at a really good price. I mean, we were really aggressive with our price point coming into the market. So the whole idea is just to get someone to fall in love with it. It's going to be hard for them to shop that product. And one of the things that we consistently hear is, wow, this looks like one of the newer Airstream models that I've seen. And I find that to be a wonderful compliment. Airstream is always ahead of the game, design-wise. Right. Their interiors are amazing. And
yeah, they really are.
Yeah, and it's not something I actually mimicked on purpose, but it's just one of those things that it kind of fell into place. And, but the thing is, obviously our stuff's at a fraction of the price, and it's more of a mainstream consumer price point. So, yeah, we just are very, very happy with how it went.